Hello and welcome to Console Accessories. I hope you're staying safe, and as ever, I hope you're looking after each other. And as with the introduction, today we're going to be looking at this. Now, can you guess where I bought it from? Of course you can. It says for the N switch, which we all know means it's from Amazon. It's a Chinese special, so it's the controller for the N switch. And I'm sure you've seen them about. Essentially, it's a Cradle for your Switch screen with some Joy-Cons on the side, and it's got some negative reviews. It's also got some positive reviews, but I had a couple of negative, and I want to address those issues because I haven't found the problems that some people have been saying. So I'll talk you through it, and you can make up your own mind. Okay, so it says it has PD fast charge, it has double motor vibration, it has support play while charging, and it has built-in 6-axis gyro. It's made by Zacro, but there are a few on Amazon of different kind of variations on who makes it. But this particular one is made by Zacro. And on the side there, controller for N switch. On the other side, exactly the same, controller for N switch. And on the back, just a bit of gumph on what all the buttons do. And that's nice to see that if you didn't know how to connect your Joy-Cons, it's got a really, really easy how-to guide there with pictures, really good. And then a bit of gump on the bottom there. And I just wanted to point something out here, is if you look up in here, the eagle-eyed among you would see that it says software update button on and off. Okay, so you can update the firmware on this. I haven't yet, because I'm not quite sure where to get the update from. So there is a way to update the firmware of this. You might be more successful than me of doing that, but at the moment I don't think I need to. Okay, so let's crack it open. I've been playing with this for a few days, so I know what it's like. I just boxed it up just to show you what you get. So in here is the unit itself, a cable, some bits, and the instruction pamphlet as well. So here is a nice thick USB Type-C cable. That's really good to see that they include one of these. Really pleased with that. And then we have these two. Okay, so I'm going to straight away talk about these because I think it's important when I'm showing you about this. So over here, this thumbstick here actually comes off, and you can change it for one of these three. So there's three types: a convex, concave one, and a little tiny one. Okay. So there's those three, and you can choose which one you want. So we'll just go with this one. And in there it has some little prongs, and you just fit it on there and push it on until it clicks. And then once it's in, you might prefer that one, you just swap it for that one, you might prefer that one. But as with most of these things like this where you have a choice, you kind of find one you like and you stick with it, don't you? And I like that one, so I'm just going to stick with that one. Weird design choice, first off, is why is that orange and that black? Why didn't they make all these orange? But the only thing I can think of is they made the distinction between orange and black so you know which one you're going to pull off. So you know it's going to be the orange one to pull off. Does that make sense? I'm not sure. Anyway, so I keep this one on because I like this one. This one's my favourite. Okay, so going over the unit then, we have the left thumbstick, and it clicks in really nicely. And it's got a really decent amount of travel. A lot of travel on there. That's good. And then the D-pad, that's pretty clicky, but again, feels like a standard D-pad to me. Screenshot and the minus button, they're quite flush to the unit, but not too bad. You can easily find them without looking. Moving over, backplate with the USB Type-C. In there, if we can see that, is where the update button, on-off button is. I haven't really touched that because I haven't needed to update it really. And then on the other side, X, Y, A and B, they feel like normal buttons to me. Yeah, standard buttons, nothing really too bad about. And then this stick, exactly the same as this one, nice and clicky, plenty of travel on it, excellent. And then the plus and the home, which is exactly the same as those two, relatively flush, not too bad. And then on the top, we have the R and the L, which are really nice and clicky. And then ZL and ZR, which feel okay. Not as clicky as these two, but they feel okay. If I compare it to a Joy-Con, if you can see, these triggers are far larger than a Joy-Con. And then on the back, just a few gaps for the air vents, and we've got this orange button here which you use to take out the screen. So if you haven't guessed it already, what you do is you essentially just slide your Switch screen in. So I've got my Switch here. Let's take out these Joy-Cons. Now, what people were saying is that it scratches your Switch, okay? And I can see why people would think that, and maybe it does for them. But for me, it hasn't, because for me, here, if we look at the back there, this backplate doesn't actually touch this. So this is really plasticky, and I can see that if it does touch it, it would leave a mark, but for me, it hasn't. So this has been in and out of here at least a dozen times, and I've not had a problem. So where it grips is kind of where the rails are. That's where the kind of the friction is between them. And all you do is put your switch in and you push it down, just going steady, just to make sure that that USB clips in there. And it clips in, and it ain't coming out. I mean, it would do if you really forced it, but you're not going to force it. It ain't coming out. So it sits in there really nicely and it clips in beautifully. And then when you want to take it out, you just press the orange button and then you kind of pull it out, and out it comes. Okay, so as you can see, if you can see on my Switch, I haven't got any marks on my Switch, and this is, like I said, it's been out for quite a while. Okay, so when it's in, you pair it like any other Joy-Con. So you turn your Switch on, and then, oh gosh, of course you have to do that. Okay. You pair it like any other Joy-Con. You go into your Joy-Con menu and you go change grip order, and then done. Okay. It connected straight away. Easy. Really, really easy. Now, I'm going to talk about comfort for a bit now. So with the Switch screen, I was a bit worried about it going to be quite heavy, and it feels quite heavy, but we'll weigh it individually on its own in a minute. But if I just weigh this as a like a package, it's 532, so it's over half a kilogram. It's quite heavy, because this is going to be a bit heavier, but it's not unmanageable, okay? And if you look at these are nice and big. We did the Bebencool, and I'll leave a link above there, Bebencool Joy-Cons, and they were nice, because we were saying before, these aren't uncomfortable, Joy-Cons aren't uncomfortable at all, but this is beautiful. Just, oh yeah, fingers wrap around it, and I do like it when it's nice like that. Look at that, just love it. I love a nice big Joy-Con. It's really, really comfortable. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just going to get it weighed on its own. So on its own, it's 230 grams. Put that into context, a couple of them, 105. So it's more than double a couple of Joy-Cons. And you'd expect that because it is bigger. It's got this bit here, so there are some extra bits. But I don't know if you've noticed the glaring kind of, not problem with it, but it could be a problem for some people, is it really makes it quite tall. Okay, so the Switch essentially is as tall as a Joy-Con. So if I put the Joy-Con there, look how much extra it gives. It's a bit of a whopper. So we're gonna be looking at some cases in a second. But if I measure it, at least maximum, you're looking at 26 centimeters. And now this is the one, this here. It's nearly 15 centimeters tall, which is huge compared to what a regular Switch is, essentially 10 centimeters. And then depth-wise, it's about 5 centimeters, but with the thumbsticks, going to be another centimeter or so more. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to try and stick it in some cases. Okay, so let's try the Orsley case. Okay, you know, it's not even going to come close to that. Okay, so it's not going to go in that one. I think we're going to have to go straight up to something big. This is the Satisfy case, so let's see if it fits in there. Oh gosh, I don't know. This is the biggest case I own. Do you know what? it's just gonna fit in. This is the biggest case I own. This is the biggest. I think this is one of the biggest switch cases you can get for this kind of size. And look at it. It's really bulging out there. Really bulging. The problem isn't the width or kind of the depth. It's the height. It's this. It's the fact that it adds it onto there. So if you're looking about getting one of these, you really got to consider it if you're going to want to put it in a case, because I don't think it's really going to fit many cases. You're going to have to get a proper big travel case for it to fit in, which is a bit of a shame. So who do I think this is for? I think this is for, you know, I think children would enjoy this. I think it's good for that, but I think the weight might be a bit of an issue for them because it is relatively, I mean, it's 0.5 kilograms. I don't know how much kids will be doing it. And for adults, yeah, I think you'd get some use out of it. It's certainly more comfy. It's just the trade-off is the size of it. Then when it's sat on there as well, you say you can just charge it. So as soon as you've plugged it in, it's charging there. As you can see, the charging symbol's there. So you can just plug it in and it will charge. This doesn't need charges, doesn't have a battery. It just simply takes power from the switch. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think then? The Zacro controller for N switch. Can you see a market for these? For something you put your switch in? Or would you think of something like the Beb & Cool really big Joy-Cons if you want something for the comfort? I'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think? Okay, so any questions? Do let me know. If you've got a case and you want me to try it, then do let me know if I've got the case, but I'll be honest with you, the biggest one I've got is the Satisfy and it doesn't fit in there, so it's not going to fit in anything I've got, I don't think. It's just too big. But any questions you've got, do let me know. Any comments, do let me know. Please do stick a thumbs up, it would mean a lot to me. And do think about subscribing if you're new, it'd be fantastic. Okay, so that's it, that's the controller for the N Switch by Zacro. Take care of each other, look after each other, and until the next video. Bye-bye.